Welcome everybody to Town Hall number 66. Thank you, Diana, for putting that right in my face there, so I didn't even have to think twice. We should do that every time. And it's an auspicious occasion. I was just saying earlier that not only did I put on a good shirt, but I put on a good jacket for today, because it's a very, very cool thing that has happened for platformOS with relation to the winning of the UK technical award from the ISTC. And Diana is going to kick that off in a moment. But I thought I would just preface it by saying how blessed we are to have Diana and the team involved in making our documentation what it is, because I'm sure, as all of you know, it's a moving feast sometimes when you get to start developing on a new platform and there's new technology frameworks like GraphQL, and we're extending liquid markup and we've got different APIs for different things. It looks like there's some, yeah, that's Ursula. I'll mute her. And it's always daunting to jump in and learn all these new frameworks. Having clear and concise documentation that actually works is a really important part of the learning process. So I found Diana through a blog post that she had written specifically around the importance of well-documented technical stuff. I think it might have been an API. Diana will probably fill in the details and tell the facts as they were. My paraphrased version is, I found a blog, I read it, I loved it, I went, who's the author? It's Diana. Hey Diana, do you think you could help us with our documentation, which is over here? And she probably looked at it and went, oh my goodness. And she said, I can do a little bit of part-time work because I'm a nice person and that other stuff that you've got there really needs help. So she jumped in. She started to not only understand the platform and rewrite the documentation, but really began to see the vision of where we were taking platformOS. And I think that's when she said, can I come on full-time? And you see the results before you now. I'm going to hand over to Diana, our Director of Documentation, who's not only an incredible award-winning documentation person, but an amazing person in general, fantastic mum, wife, global traveler, community member. Over to you. Thanks, Diana.
Thank you very much, Adam. So in this presentation, I will tell you about our journey to winning the UK ISTC award, including what this award is, how we applied, what feedback we got from the judges, what the award ceremony was like, and of course, I also explored the reasons why we have won this award. In the end, I will also share with you some next steps that we are planning. For better understanding, I thought I'd start with an overview of the background of the award and the organization behind it. So the Institute of Scientific and Technical Communicators, or ISTC, is the largest UK body representing information development professionals. The ISTC is the oldest society of its kind in the world, tracing its roots back to 1948. It supports professional development and recognition, offers resources, training, mentoring programs. It also publishes a quarterly journal called Communicator and provides a community of professionals for networking and exchanging information. The magazine, Communicator, is a well-established award-winning technical communication journal. Its first issue was published in 1968. The ISTC hosts the Technical Communication UK conference. This is an annual conference for everyone involved in writing, editing, illustrating, publishing technical information. The TC UK hosts the award ceremony of the UK Technical Communication Awards. For more than 2 decades, the ISTC Documentation Awards provided the UK's annual opportunity for technical communicators to receive this recognition, and the UK Technical Communication Awards continues this tradition and extends it to encourage even wider participation. There are no categories for the main UK Technical Communication Awards. Entries can be traditional product and process documentation, or the reflection of some new technologies like ebooks or information portals, blog posts, anything really that demonstrates or displays the production of high quality technical communication. The UK ISTC Awards is a peer-reviewed award where a team of judges reviews the entries, selects the winners, and provides feedback. This year, the team leader was Paul Ballard. Paul and his company are past winners of the UK ISTC Award. He's a past president of the ISTC and the holder of the ISTC's Mike Austin Award. Paul has been working in technical communication for 25 years. Other members were, for example, Carol Leahy, the current ISTC president, and Linda Robbins, who is a fellow of the ISTC and has been working in technical communication for over 40 years. She is now in her 16th year of judging the awards. I thought it would be also interesting if I told you a bit about the application that we submitted. Besides basic information about the company and our entry, our application had to include 4 sections. We had to describe the purpose, the scope, and our audience. As you might remember, we started developing our documentation with the exploration of our target audience and then revalidated our assumptions so we could provide a clear description of our users. We also described how our documentation was designed and produced, and we explained how budgeting and scheduling constraints, in our case, manifested in having the same team members, the developers, work on the documentation as subject matter experts who otherwise work on product and client projects. As you already know, we solved this by developing an editorial workflow to flexibly manage time spent on the docs, and we implemented continuous development and continuous integration to make changes to the docs quicker, easier, and safer. We also talked about our community and the many ways we facilitate contribution and collaboration. In the impact section, we talked about the role our documentation plays as part of our business and as our most important tool in developer relations. Oops. Yeah. A couple of days after getting the news that we won, we got detailed feedback on our entry from the judges. This is extremely valuable as we got feedback from an audience that we haven't been able to get feedback from before, technical communication professionals who don't have any previous experience with our product or our documentation. In their overall feedback, the judges praised 3 main characteristics of our documentation: how it's an integrated part of our product, how everyone is involved in writing, editing, and improving the docs, and how our leadership has a carefully considered strategy for our developer portal. This was a very nice validation of our goals and plans, because this is exactly how we want it to work and what we were aiming for. In their detailed feedback, they praised us on the quality of our application, as it provided a clear description of our whole journey and the docs as code approach. They found that content was relevant, well-presented, and engaging. They also liked the use of colors on the site and the use of tips and code examples. They thought that the use of the left and top navigation panes was an efficient use of space. They also included improvement suggestions. They felt that both the design and the content were sometimes a bit too light. We will pay attention to this, and it will certainly improve as the site matures. They also pointed out inconsistencies in the use of white space that we already started fixing with our designer, and implemented the first round of design adjustments even before our developer portal was displayed at the TC UK conference. I had the pleasure of accepting the award at the award ceremony, so I thought it would be fun to show you some photos and tell you a bit about this. The award ceremony was held on the last night of the conference. The TC UK conference is held in a different town each year. This time it was Warwick, a lovely town in Middle England with an impressive castle and lots of beautiful buildings everywhere. I recommend you to check it out if you get the chance. At the award ceremony, Paul Ballard talked about each winning entry, while a quote from the judges and screenshots or an excerpt was displayed on a screen above the stage. After explaining why we won, he asked me up on stage to accept the award, and I thanked the judges, organizers, and of course our team and community. Now, why exactly did we win this award? The judges found both our approach and our documentation site convincing, but instead of discussing the details here, I thought I would give you the three main aspects that I think won us this award based on the judges' feedback and my discussions with them. The first one is strategy. From the very beginning, we had a clear strategy. We knew what we wanted and what we needed to get there. We used proven methodologies like the content first and design thinking approaches to systematically gather information and build the foundations of our docs. Because we were building our docs to best fit your needs, we started user research early on, and we will continue to plan, validate, and iterate to continuously improve our documentation. From the start, we considered and implemented documentation best practices in all aspects of our documentation. As I mentioned before, our workflow is unique in its flexibility to be used by any participant, internal developers, writers, editors, partners, external contributors. We implemented a complete docs as code workflow on GitHub and took it even further by including issue tracking and project management into it. We implemented continuous integration and deployment with automated tests. Contribution works the same way for everyone, and we support our contributors with a style guide, templates for each type of content, and a contributor guide. And the third strength I like to explore is our community. We have many ways to interact through Slack, the feedback block, or the contact form. We strive to share information with you regularly and consistently in status reports, release notes, and other ways. And we regularly conduct user research with participants from different segments of our target audience. We aim for full transparency. You can keep track of issues real time on GitHub. You can see who's working on what. You can see our discussions and are always welcome to contribute to these discussions or add new issues. The community has already helped immensely in shaping our documentation into the award-winning developer portal it has become, and I'm sure that there will be even more room for contribution in the future as the site matures and the community gets its home on the platformOS community site. So what do we do now that we have won this award? We have been asked to write an article about our winning entry in the winter issue of Communicator. Of course, we will keep revalidating and improving our documentation just like before, and we add and refine content based on feedback and in sync with our long-term strategy. We are now putting our focus on onboarding, working together with Kata on the different onboarding journeys. And we are still competing for the Dev Portal Awards, so please vote for us. Voting closes on the 30th of September. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
That was awesome. So good. Amazing work. Great job. Great leadership from you, Diana. You won this award through your leadership and focus for excellence. So I'm glad you've got that mantelpiece. As I was saying before we hit record, that you had better make sure you've got a larger mantelpiece for all the other awards that you'll be gathering soon. But yes, questions. Anybody got a question or a comment specific to the Docs code approach, maybe Diana, while they're formulating a question, if you've got a link to that GitHub contributors list, I'll post that in the chat too, in case you need a quick reference. Might just throw that screen up and highlight some of those that have contributed so far.
Congratulations, guys, by the way. From doing a small amount of stuff on Docs, I understand how much work must go on behind the scenes for this kind of stuff. Like, you know, I've got 20 lines of 20 lines of Docs just to manage and get all that together in one place is a huge effort. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Daniel. Definitely has been a team effort for sure, but great leadership under Diana's direction has made a huge difference to that. Ursh just makes a note for congratulations to Diana. And do you have that link of contributors that you can share? Let's share that too. I just want to point out too that as is the case with our docs, and when that comes up, Diana's going to share that screen.
I shared the link, not the screen, but.
Oh, you shared the link. Oh, if you want to, can you click on? Oh, I can do that. I can share my screen, and I will share it because I'm able to do that. I think you can see my screen, and these are some of the contributors that have been involved with our docs so far. And you'll notice not a huge amount of diversity there, and I just want to call that out. But the approach, of course, to our whole system is it's open. So diversity is just by default open to anybody who wants to contribute. So if anybody says, hey, there's not enough people of X and Y or too many X and Ys and not enough XXs, please feel free to jump in. It is totally open to everybody to contribute in whatever way they like as far as our docs is concerned. So very much looking forward to the continued improvement approach. The examples that we'll be doing, we're going to be adding video and a lot more living, breathing case studies, working code examples, real world solutions that we're going to incorporate into the documentation so that when you're reading something, it's not necessarily just a hello world example. It will be an end-to-end implementation of something that you can take and use for your clients' projects. So that's an exciting step forward in what Diana's got planned for us next. So thank you, everybody, and in particular, Diana, applause. I'm sure everybody at the gala were also clapping. And I would also like to just thank, again, all those in the community involved with the documentation. And of course, a big shout out to the UK Technical Communication Award judges for making a great decision, we believe. And also we look forward to being involved with them into the future around writing articles and continuing to ensure that the award we've won is deserved well into the future. So any final questions that anyone might have thought of while I was having my little ramble? No, just applause. Thanks again, Diana. Well earned indeed. So thanks again, and we'll see everybody at the next town hall. Those watching the video, thank you for watching. And if you've got any questions, wherever this happens to be posted on LinkedIn or YouTube or Vimeo, or we're moving to Vimeo, but wherever it's posted, please send a question and we'll make sure that it gets directed to Diana and your question's answered. So all the best. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Trying to stop recording. Won't let me.